It's time now for our business update, and for that I'm joined on set by Brian Quinn. And Brian, you're starting with something rotten in the state of Brazil.
Yes, that's right, Thomas. It's a huge scandal in the country over allegations that meat packers there bribed inspectors to allow spoiled meat onto the market for years. Brazil has already halted exports by 21 companies under investigation in a mounting effort to head off import bans by other countries. But late Monday, the EU suspended imports from those accused companies, while China halted the purchase of all red meat from Brazil. The meat industry plays an important part in the Brazilian economy, with exports worth more than 11 billion euros per year. President Michel Temer tried to reassure both the industry and its customers.
The agricultural business in Brazil is very important for us, and it must not be devalued by minor corruption, something small that can be investigated, inspected and punished, if that is the case. But it cannot compromise an entire system we have built over the years. We export to more than 150 countries.
Okay, let's move on now to a big story we've been covering here on France 24 this morning. That's, of course, last night's presidential debate here in Paris. And we got a closer look at the 5 leading candidates in that election and their economic plans for the country.
Yeah, that's right. Among other topics, the French economy taking center stage last night, with jobs, purchasing power, and protectionism hot topics as the candidates squared off. Catherine Viette takes a look at just where they stand.
The 35-hour work week, the dividing line between the candidates. François Fillon wants to eliminate it. Emmanuel Macron wants companies to have the flexibility to negotiate with their workers. On the other side, both Jean-Luc Mélenchon and Benoît Hamon want to reduce working hours even more. Far-left candidate Jean-Luc Mélenchon pledged a €100 billion recovery plan to stimulate the economy, while Socialist Party candidate Benoît Hamon touted his universal income plan.
I will be the candidate for jobs, for paychecks and for decent pay in connection with work. The universal salary under the form I propose starting on the 1st of January 2018 would permit an increase of €200 to the net minimum salary without touching the gross minimum salary.
Conservative candidate François Fillon says such a plan is unrealistic, and he's the only one able to tackle France's public debt at nearly €2.28 trillion. Fillon also attacked far-right candidate Marine Le Pen's plan to exit the euro.
There is the euro, there's Germany, there's France, Spain and Italy.
The real serial killer for French spending power is Madame Le Pen with her plans to exit the euro and restore the franc. That would spark runaway inflation. You're dragging the country towards real economic and social chaos.
A sentiment shared by Emmanuel Macron. The centrist candidate has proposed €60 billion worth of spending cuts over 5 years and says he can still keep the country's deficit below the EU's 3% limit if elected.
That's Catherine Viette reporting there. Brian, how are the markets looking at this hour?
European markets opening higher today as talks between Greece and its Eurozone creditors pick up speed. London's FTSE 100 up 0.1% with some big inflation and housing price data set to come out of the UK later this morning. Paris's CAC 40 up 0.4% after that strong debate performance last night by Emmanuel Macron, and the Frankfurt DAX up 0.3%. Let's take a look at some more of today's business headlines now. Westinghouse Electric is fielding offers for financing to ease it through bankruptcy proceedings in the U.S. Reuters reports that the nuclear power plant developer is taking proposals for what's known as a debtor-in-possession loan, which would allow it to meet operating expenses while going through bankruptcy. Japanese parent company Toshiba saw shares rise over 3% on that news. Toshiba has previously said it would take a $6 billion write-down on Westinghouse business. And Walmart is launching its first investment venture to help it expand in the realm of e-commerce. Called Store Number 8, the investment arm will work with retail startups, venture capitalists, and entrepreneurs in an effort to entice younger and urban shoppers. The venture will be kept separate from Walmart's main organization to avoid affecting the retail giant's main bottom line.
Finally, for business, Brian, you have a story about robots who could soon be our financial advisors.
Can't get enough of the robots in the business report, Thomas. Wall Street powerhouse Goldman Sachs is best known for servicing the super rich, but what about the merely wealthy? Well, if you're not in that top 0.1% but still want advice from those masters of the universe, there may soon be an option for you, the robo-advisor. Goldman posted a job listing on its website Monday to help build a computer platform to advise what's known as the, quote, mass affluent sector. That's investors with up to $1 million in assets, only $1 million. Goldman's private wealth advisors typically see clients with around $50 million in assets, but they're trying to expand their base. Now, robo-advice has been picking up steam recently with firms like Vanguard and Charles Schwab already in the game.
I love that. It's not RoboCop, but robo-advisor.
A little bit gentler. Yeah.
Brian Quinn, thank you very much for that spin through the latest business news.